We are back to basics today, everyone. So Jim Beam Black used to carry the title Double Aged and featured an 8-year age statement. In 2015, Jim Beam dropped the age statement and changed the name to XA Extra Age. In mid-2016, Beam went through a portfolio-wide branding change that included new labels, new bottle designs. The new black label dropped the XA, added a hyphen, simply calling it Extra Aged. This $20 bottle supposedly contains whiskey that's 6 years and older, making it a more complex Jim Beam white label. Nobody really ever talks about it. Is it better than we think? It's What's on the Shelf Wednesday. It's the Mash and Drum. Welcome to the Mash and Drum. I am Jason C, and this is What's on the Shelf Wednesday, the series where I bring you quick reviews of whiskeys you can actually find on the shelf, including bourbons, rye, scotches, Irish whiskeys, and more. Today, we are tasting the forgotten Jim Beam Black Label Extra Aged. Before we dive in, though, we do have a new sponsor today on the Mash and Drum, and I'm excited because besides whiskey, coffee is one of my favorite things in the world. Let's hear about Javy. Family, friends, whiskey, drums, coffee. In that order. Now, I love a rich espresso, a French press, a cold brew. I love coffee. So when I heard about Javy, I had to try them out. What is Javy? Basically, my new favorite coffee obsession. It's the fastest, easiest, and most convenient coffee to make. Javy is a coffee concentrate that provides coffee heads a quick, easy, and cost-effective way to enjoy a cup of coffee every single day. Now, Javy is made of 100% natural Arabica beans and the purest water. It's dairy-free, sugar-free, non-GMO, nothing in it but pure, unadulterated coffee goodness. How does it work? I use Javy mostly for cold brews, which is great for summer right now, especially when I'm on the go all the time. Simply fill your glass with ice, then either cold water or whatever milk you like to use. Measure 1 to 2 teaspoons of Javy. I like to use 2 tablespoons because I like my coffee a little bit stronger. Then all you gotta do is mix it. Add any creamer of your choice, and then enjoy. It's so damn good. Now, Javy also comes in other flavors like mocha, French vanilla, caramel. I have this caramel one, which I like to use every now and again. Just gives it an extra little bit of sweetness. Since I started drinking this, I've had a lot less trips to Starbucks, Dunkin', and I'm saving some money too. If you travel a lot, Javy is literally your best friend. It takes up no space. There's no equipment. Instead of searching for a coffee shop, just use Javy. One small bottle of Javy coffee can make up to 30 standard 8 to 10 ounce cups of coffee, and 1 teaspoon has an equal amount of caffeine as a typical cup of coffee, between 80 to 100 milligrams. So if you love quality coffee like I do, that's cost effective, convenient, and just flat out delicious, click the special link in the description below and you can get 25% off your order using my code MASH. Cheers to Javy, and hope you guys love it as much as I do. Go order some right now. I'm gonna finish my iced coffee. So Jim Beam Black Label Bourbon is an older and slightly higher proof version of Jim Beam White Label Bourbon, which is usually in the running for the #1 selling bourbon in the world. I actually think it is the #1 selling bourbon in the world. Jack Daniel's is actually #1, but being branded as a Tennessee whiskey, that leaves Jim White Label, Bulleit, Evan Williams, and Maker's Mark usually as #1 contenders. Now, the Black Label is an extra aged version of the White Label. Now, the label says, you guys can check out the close-up here, by giving our classic Jim Beam Black the important added ingredient of time in our charred white oak barrels, we discovered the smooth caramel and warm oak notes of this premium extra aged bourbon. And then it ends with a full-bodied character that's definitely worth the wait. All right, so 86 proof. It's only about 20 bucks for the bottle. You're looking at bourbon possibly 6 to 8 years old, available everywhere. Let's try it. It's been a while since I had this one. Oh, it's beamy. Man, I haven't had this in a while. This is almost like a Booker's Light. It's very like peanut shell oak forward. And if you think about it, Booker's is usually around 6 to 7 years old. This, right around that same area. I mean, it's probably aged in a completely different part of the warehouse, but I'm just saying. Yeah, Cracker Jack, peanut shells. I mean, your typical big punches of vanilla, oak, and caramel are all there that you normally get from Beam. Also getting like a slight hint of like maybe like a graham crackery type note. Maybe a little cinnamon as well. I mean, it's a decent nose. It doesn't smell bad. It smells very Beam. I do think this has a little bit more of an oak forwardness to it than the Jim Beam White Label, which would make sense if it's extra aged. So let's give it a go. Okay. So it is thin. It's thin on the palate, but you have to kind of expect that going in being 86 proof. Have I had more textured 86 proof bourbon? Sure. But all the things here, peanut, brown sugar, caramel, it's very sweet. A lot of vanilla, as you would typically come to expect. Overall, it's a better experience than Jim Beam White Label. Jim Beam White Label, I feel like you could taste, you know, the heavy corn and the, you know, that peanut characteristic. You know, for what it's worth, this is definitely a more, I'm not going to say a huge step up, but it's definitely a step up from Jim Beam White Label. You get more of an oak presence. You get more, I think there's definitely some more flavor, a little bit more oak. Absolutely love that part of it. But yeah, this is one that nobody talks about. Like, let me know down in the comments, and you know, is this a mixer that any of you guys get? Is this a bottle that you keep around? Do you buy it in a pinch? Where does this fall in your collections? Or is it a bottle you totally skip because there's so much other stuff out there? I mean, normally when you talk about Jim Beam and some of the other variants that they have on the shelf in their portfolio, you're looking at the double oaked, the bottled and bond, or the bonded, I should say. They have single barrels. You have OGD at a higher proof point, OGD 114. I mean, there's so much competition for this bottle, but I mean, for 20 bucks, something, I think people forget that this is a 6 to 8 year old product. And I think that's why I wanted to kind of do a quick video on it, just because I think because of that, because it lost its age statement, so it's no longer the big 8s on it. There's probably some younger stuff in here, probably being that 6-year-old mark, but because remember, this is not the high rye mash bill. This is their standard mash bill. This isn't like the Basil Hayden, the old granddad mash bill. This is the B mash bill. On the front of the bottle, there's a very tiny little metal award here. The International Wine and Spirit Competition 2016, world's highest rated bourbon. I mean, when you look at the timeline now, that's, I mean, how many bourbons have hit the market since 2016? But I mean, I could see this in 2016, 2015 being such a great value. I mean, I think it's, listen, it's not great. I'm not running out to buy this each and every week. There's a lot more stuff. Wild Turkey 101, even Elijah Craig, I'd probably reach for over this. But if you like to stay below 90 proof, for a $20 bottle for a whiskey that's 6 to 8 years old, I think it's pretty good. And I just think I wanted to taste it again. I think it often gets overlooked. It's one of those bottles, I feel like, that with all the new stuff that comes out, especially lower age statements, higher price points, this is kind of a forgotten little gem. All right, guys, well, thanks for watching this episode of What's on the Shelf Wednesday here on the Mash and Drum. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit the subscribe button below. Please hit the like button. If you haven't yet, find me on Instagram, find me on Twitter. Again, let me know down in the comments what you think of this one. Do you rather just walk by on it, or do you rather actually, do you enjoy it? Is it something that you don't want me to talk about ever again because you do enjoy it and you don't want any more attention being put on it? So with that, as I always say, it's not about the whiskey, it's the people you share it with. Cheers, see you next time right here on the Mash and Drum. Take care, folks.